Do you have health issues and your doctor just says, "Oh, take another prescription. Let me write that for you." And you're like, "Oh my God, I'm already taking 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever." And they're not working. And there's major side effects. And you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I might as well just roll over." Um, well, there may be another way. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for certain, but I'm just going to tell you there may be another way. Nature has provided us with a lot of really great and wonderful things. And sometimes we can make symptoms better by something simple. So I'm real lucky today to have my friend with me who is amazing. And she studies health. She's had her own health journey. And she has helped herself feel better and lose weight. And I think you're going to find her fascinating. And as you can see from my little thingies here, kind of giving it away, a little bit of a clue. But she's awesome, and she's going to talk to us today. We only have like 30 minutes, but it'll be a lot of fun. So if you want to feel better and you don't want to take a bunch more pills, this might be the right show for you. So stay tuned. We're going to have some fun. Hi, I'm Honeygregory, and welcome to my channel, Perpetual Learning, where we are continuously learning, because if you're not learning, you're dying, right? Nobody wants to die. You got to know things. You got to know what's going on in the world, because if you don't know, you're in bad shape. So we got to keep learning. So today I brought on a really special guest. She's my friend. She's absolutely awesome and amazing, intelligent, beautiful mom, educator. And what I really love, her current pet project, love, passion, whatever you want to call it, is Young Living. And she is a rep for Young Living. And she has been teaching me because, if you're not learning, you're dying. So I'm learning, and I am nowhere near as intelligent and brilliant as she is. So everybody welcome my good friend, Lori Wise Vernon. Yoo-hoo! Hey, Lori.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we were just talking, you were doing some health things this morning yourself, because you are very good about trying to take care of yourself, because you had a health issue and journey of your own. So why don't you start out telling us a little bit about yourself and your journey?
I absolutely did. Yes, 5 years ago, I had a crazy spider bite, and all the regular doctors wanted me to do Benadryl for the itching and prednisone for the swelling. Well, that's not going to work for me because I can't take prednisone, and I don't want to sleep all day because I do have children and I do have a job. So I took matters into my own hand. Yeah. And I went to an herbalist. And then
cool.
she told me that, based on what your body feels like, you're not vibrating in the liver. And I thought, what in the world does that mean?
Yeah.
So the liver was not able to process the venom from that bite. So what it did is it shot it back through my skin as a wild rash. And so that's what the doctors wanted to treat, was just the rash.
Right.
Well,
yeah, and they just want to give you some sort of topical steroid cream or Benadryl cream or something like that, and that's never very productive.
No, because you're just putting a Band-Aid on the problem. So
exactly.
Little did I know that your liver is your most important organ. And if it can't digest and detox, then it's going to give you signs and symptoms.
Right.
So
and you
all
got
the
to pay
things that
attention to those. Most people don't, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The signs are, they're just like, athlete's foot, right? Dandruff, itchy things on the skin, and anything skin is liver. So if you're not taking care of the liver, then you're going to start getting symptoms.
Yeah.
So anyway, went down the path of needing enzymes. And then I learned about plants in general and how plants were created for our bodies.
Well, yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, that's what's abundant on this planet, right? And if we're the petri dish or the zoo or God's creation, or different people have their interesting theories, it all boils down to the same thing. Obviously, these things here are for a reason.
Yes. And then when you look at what a plant actually gives you, this isn't new.
Mm,
People thousands of years ago have been using plant juice, we'll call it.
okay.
And in today's term, we call it essential oils.
Mm. Well, and there's oils in things that we eat as it is. We just don't kind of think about it. So there's oils, there's fibers, there's vitamins, there's minerals, and there's fatty acids, and there's omega-3s, and all these kind of things are in our food. But with the fast food industry and the or I should say more like the fast-paced lifestyle and using
Yeah.
fast food, and not just when I say the fast food industry, I'm not talking about, running down to McDonald's or something. I'm talking about all of the food in the grocery store is kind of fast foods, like canned goods and crackers and everything pre-made. You don't have to do anything. There's no work really involved. And to keep all that stuff on the shelf, all kind of preservatives and God knows what's in there.
Well, that's exactly right. If you
Yeah.
turn a can or a box around and there's more than 5 ingredients, you probably should start looking up what those ingredients are.
Yeah.
And if you can't pronounce them, then that's a sign that your body doesn't need it either.
Mm-hmm. And that's on nearly every box. And you pointed out to me now, they went away from that GMO to a new terminology. What was that terminology again?
Bioengineered ingredients.
Bioengineered ingredients. Wow. That's
So, yeah,
just
I challenge
insane.
everyone. Google the dangers of bioengineered ingredients in
Right.
your food.
And so you had a lifestyle as a busy mom, an educator, all the things that you were doing, and you suddenly realized you had all these health issues, and you went down this path of trying to figure out how to do some things a little bit more naturally. So where did you land?
Well, I started really with my daughter because I wasn't sleeping at 47 because she wasn't sleeping at
Mm,
4 and 5. And she was my third. And I thought, this is crazy. My third rodeo. I know what I'm doing. I
right.
should be able to let kids, they know
Yeah,
how to
but
sleep.
every kid is different. They're all unique. They all have their own personality and
They are.
quirks,
Yeah.
I guess you
So
call it.
I tried a product that I would have never thought before would have been so simple as what it
Okay.
turned out to be.
Simple.
And
Simple? You mean not like complicated with like pills?
well, we were doing the Benadryl, the Claritin, the nose spray,
Yeah.
all the things for her at 5 years old,
Mm, yeah.
every spring and every fall. So
Okay.
when the baby's not sleeping, mommy's not sleeping.
Of course. Yeah.
And I had the liver thing going on back then and
Mm,
didn't know.
yeah.
And I was 25 pounds overweight.
Mm,
I had skin things,
mm-hmm.
liver spots, they call them, or sunspots.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I need to look at her first because she's not sleeping. I'm not sleeping.
Mm,
So one night
mm-hmm.
of lemon, lavender, and peppermint
Mm,
in her diffuser
that's making me hungry.
completely stopped all of
No.
that. Yeah.
Really? Seriously? Like all of her not sleeping. So it was all the sinuses, couldn't breathe type of thing going on.
She had huge tonsils when she was born,
Oh,
and she was totally mucousy
yeah.
all the time. And so she was either congested or she was running and stuffy, and she had everything going on, and she would swallow all that. And it was awful. And she'd wake up in the
Yeah.
morning and
Yeah.
feel like crap. And so
Yeah.
we did this for five
Yeah.
years.
Dealt
And
with
it was
it. Yeah.
ridiculous, all the medicine. And
Yeah.
so my cousin said, you know what, try some of that
And so what'd you do?
because,
You say try it. You put it on
yeah,
your skin, you put it in the diffuser. What did you do?
yeah. So this is her diffuser. And that's been, well, that was third grade actually when we started using these. And
Mhm.
she's now a freshman in high school. So
Wow.
a
That's
medical
cool.
grade diffuser,
Yeah. Nice.
about a cup of water. Lemon is cleansing for everything. I mean, we know
Okay.
that lemon does a lot for the body. So a couple drops at night, and that one, and lavender
Yeah.
is like your Benadryl,
Oh,
dries up everything.
okay. Well, I put the wrong one on then the other day. I put lemon on. You said put it on the back of your neck. And I was
You-
like, I still feel funky. I still feel stuffy and stuff.
Well, that lemon you can also do for like little babies that are having the ear infections, all the fluid,
Yeah.
right? That's not
Yeah.
necessarily infected, but it's just fluid
Right.
down the mastoid bone behind the ear. Lemon will flush that out.
Ah, guess the
Major.
lymph nodes or whatever working, the lymphatic
Yes,
system. Okay.
yes. And then the last ingredient for my daughter's allergy issues was peppermint.
Which
Peppermint,
surprises
think of,
me because I always thought that was for digestion.
you know what, it's kind of like a superhero. It
Yeah.
does lots of things.
Okay.
So in this case, it is like a Sudafed opening up the nose,
Mm.
but smells like a spa.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. I never defused until you talked me into it. And I have my little kit right here. So I got my kit right here, my starter kit for us dummies who don't know what they're doing yet, who haven't learned everything like Lori has. But girl, I play with this every night. It's just kind of like my relaxation at the end of the day. And I'm like, I wonder which oils I'm going to try today.
Oh
um,
yeah.
and I'm learning, you've been teaching me so much. You're so amazing and so knowledgeable. But I got the little book you told me to get to go with my oils. And the other day, I bet I read 50 pages. I was like, oh, I'm just going to read about this one oil. And it was so fascinating. Next thing I know, it was like, 50 pages later, I was like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. I'm a little tired. I got to
Right.
get my sleep. But
Right.
it's when I read these things and here and it talks about what all they do, it just mind blowing. And then it brings us back to what you're saying, that in nature, all of these things, are right there available. And here we are chopping them down and mowing them down and spraying them with pesticides and getting rid of all these things right here that could save our lives and make us feel better.
They absolutely can. And one thing I wanted to point out, we eat plants, right?
Mm-hmm,
We eat
mm-hmm.
green vegetables, we eat peas and carrots, and we eat the plant. And so we know that it's a medicinal, nutritional that way for the
Mm-hmm.
body. But what people don't realize is that you can help yourself emotionally as well as physically by using oils.
Emotionally too. So someone who's suffering from depression or anger or I don't know, anxiety or something like that, they could use oils as well.
Any kind of mental health issue
Oh,
that
wow.
people have, and think about it from the last several years of what's been going on, people do. We have fear of things. We have issues with sleeping, of course, and depression and anxiety, like you said. And you want something to help you, but you don't want to pop a pill because
Mm-hmm.
you read all the side effects.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd rather not trade those for the one thing that you have.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my daughter and I were watching TV over the summer. I can't remember what program, and these ads kept coming on for medication. And in the tiny print, it said side effects, and my daughter started reading, goes, oh, you could die of a heart attack. You could get cancer. She starts reading them off. She goes, I think I'd rather not take that. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Most of those are
Well,
not good for you, but I mean, there are circumstances where that's your only option and you do what you got to
oh
do.
yeah.
But even I know people who have been diabetic and some other things that now swear by the oils have helped them in changing their diet and exercise and so on. That's helped them get off of their, insulin and different things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, there is a lot of hidden knowledge that we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to share a website.
Okay.
Pub is pubmed.gov.
I'm gonna write that down. Pubmed.gov. Okay.
Mhm.
And what are
And
people
you
going to
can
find there?
search up,
Okay.
for example, frankincense and anxiety.
Mm. Now, frankincense is my favorite, and that's biblical. So for the Christians out there or other people who read the Bible, I mean, that's what they brought Jesus, right?
Oh, yes. And when you find out the power of frankincense, you will do anything to get true frankincense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True is the optimal
So
word there
that
because
brings me to the next thought, is not all essential oils are
Mhm.
created the same.
which I learned
And
recently.
yeah, it is
Oh,
huge to
hang on.
know.
Hang on. The internet connection is unavailable.
I
Are
can
you
hear
still there?
you.
Okay. Well, keep going then. I
Yep.
don't know what's going
Okay.
on.
Oh, sure. It is imperative that you know the company that you buy the oils from, and you know how their farming practices are. Because if they're not doing it correctly, you do not want to put it on you or in you or breathe it.
Which is what I was saying to you the other day, is I ran out of my frankincense. Something's going on here with this thing. I'm sorry, but I ran out of my frankincense. We might have an issue with this one. There may be some interference with us.
I hear you fine.
Okay. I'm getting all kinds of messages. I bought that. I ran out of frankincense out of my kit because that's my favorite. It is good for everything, as you taught me. And so I bought some locally at a store. It didn't even smell like frankincense, and it said it was pure frankincense. It didn't smell right. It didn't feel right. It didn't absorb into my skin the same. And I could tell the quality just automatically was not as good as what with the Young Living. I mean, it was like night and day.
And that's the problem, is that the labeling laws, they're not, people can label whatever they want on the outside of the bottle. You can't make false claims that this can cure and fix and heal and treat and prevent things like that. But any company can do pretty much whatever they want. And so that's what's very misleading to the average consumer, because they walk in the store and they see, the most expensive and the cheapest. And so they probably hit the middle because they know that cheap isn't good, but they can't afford this.
Right.
But if you can't go to those farms and go walk on them and go touch the plants yourself, then those companies aren't transparent with what they're doing in their farming practices.
Yeah. And that's pretty impressive. I know you were telling me about that. And you might pay a little more, but the old saying, you get what you pay for, right?
You do. Yep.
Yep.
I don't have it with me here, but I would love to show next time that picture of the brown spot on my head and what frankincense did to it.
Yeah, I gotta get
you can see it after, but you can't see before.
Right. And you have no spots now. I mean, you look amazing. And I've noticed that since I started doing some things, that my spots are beginning to go away. They're lightening up. They really are. And I'm thinking, there's something to this.
Yes.
When you start seeing the evidence, and it's not overnight. I've been doing this for a couple months now. It's not overnight. You just, it's consistency and discipline and a change of mindset that, okay, I got to do this. It's not a miracle pill. It's going to take some time. It's got to get into the blood system. It's got to rewrite the DNA and all the things that you've been telling me about. And it just takes time. So, don't get frustrated if it doesn't happen overnight. But, if you continue to do these things for 3 months, 6 months, a year, you will see a difference from the time you started to the time you ended, or
you absolutely will.
Yeah.
Yes.
But go ahead. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know I'm flickering in and out too. I see that.
Well, there's a little bit of a time delay or something going on, but go ahead.
Sure. And I know, modern medicine is fantastic. So, if I get shot, don't sprinkle frankincense on me. Take me to the doctor, right?
Exactly.
Emergency room.
Yeah, right. But then you might use frankincense and some other oils to help your scar heal faster and better and less, I don't know, looking less attractive or whatever the right word is. Because, obviously, it's not going to cure a gunshot wound or something, but going to help other things.
I'm convinced that when frankincense was brought for baby Jesus, that it was for Mary, for her skin.
It was for those stretch marks.
Stretch marks and, the wrinkles on the eyes, the crow's feet.
And I was reading, there's wonderful things for that, for beauty care as well. But, the myrrh and frankincense, I always used to say to myself, well, that's weird. Why would they bring him oil? Gold, I get. You're going to need some money to get around or get a hotel or build a house or whatever it is, he might need back in those days. But frankincense and myrrh, I thought, why you need some plant juice? Why would Jesus need these random plant juices? Well, now that you've, exposed this to me, explain it to me. Well, they're rare and extremely valuable, probably more valuable than gold was back then. And if you're growing up in a time when there are no doctors and there is no hospitals and there is no way of, getting medication like there is today. You need something that's going to help you fight off viruses and bacterias and, whatever else is going on when you live where Jesus lived. And the frankincense and the myrrh, when you read about them, it's like, my gosh, this thing, they do everything. It does everything. It's a one-stop shop.
So going back to that pubmed.gov website, you can type in essential oils and the flu. And you can see which oils work for that.
Well, yeah. And there's plenty of them that are antiviral, antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial. And usually if they're one, they're all of them. It seems like from what some of them are antistatic or whatever, antiseptic. Yeah. And, I mean, my gosh, if you were out in the boonies, I'm having issues again with this internet today. So if you're out in the boonies and you only have a little bit of a backpack, you're not going to want to take, 10 things, but, to take one little thing of oil that might save your life. I mean, it does everything, get you through it. If I was on,
absolutely.
If I was on Naked and Afraid, I think I'd, you get to pick like one or two things. I want my bottle of frankincense and a big knife.
Right. Frankincense.
And, give me a machete and my frankincense.
That's right. Bring a little peppermint because you want to keep the bugs away.
Oh, well, that's it. Oh, maybe I need a blend. So this doesn't just come in singles. Now there's blends. So I'm looking at all my little thingies here. And
yes.
Yeah. Something's not right about this whole thing. I don't know what's going on, but I forgot to change my background to the Young Living stuff. But, I got tons of things. Some of them are blends, which is handy because it does, kind of specialize things. It's multiple oils in there. And so you don't have to go pull out 10 oils and try to figure it out for yourself. It's pretty much right there in the title.
Sure. If I show you something, will it come across clearly?
I think so. Yeah. I can see it. Valor. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Balancing.
So, those are things that have helped with those kind of issues for people. Now, cool. I do have a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor and I'm not here to treat or prevent or anything. I'm just saying these things help with issues.
There have been studies by doctors and scientists that led the inventor or creator, founder, whatever you want to call it, of Young Living, who was a doctor. And he did his due diligence and he's done all the research and he's read all the studies. And through that, as I understand it, he has created this amazing product. So it is backed by science. It's not just a bunch of voodoo, going out in the yard and picking some plants, but it is backed by science. And I did my reading before I said, okay, I'm going to try this. But
yes.
But I just love this little handy book I got because, if you have a problem going on, you just look it up in the index and flip to the page and it says, okay, try this. And, anything to do with medicine's a practice. That's why they call it practicing medicine, right? So even the doctors are guessing. I hate to say it, but they're guessing too. This is fascinating. I just love it. And you got me started just by trying to convince me because I was having a little heart palpitations and you talked me into trying the little red drink. You want to tell people about that real quick?
Oh, the Ningxia red.
Yeah, this is yummy. This is yummy. And so I've got mine in here mixed with some protein. Yes.
So I just want to share this little card while I talk about it. It is the highest antioxidant drink on the market.
Made from wolfberries or goji berries.
Yes, and there are wolfberries all over the world, but the most nutrient-dense ones are in the region of Ningxia.
And look at that. That's an amazing list. Amino acids, healthy blood sugar, sustaining energy, rescue from the afternoon. I guess you could do it in the morning. In spite when we've had our conversation about caffeine being so negative for you, it promotes all kinds of really good things in there. So there's oils in there. There are fruit purees in there. It's a beautiful blend. It's very tasty. And we may have to redo this because this thing is going in and out like crazy. So
okay.
I'm just saying, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but so how does a person actually use the oil? So there's multiple ways, right?
Oh, yes. So the first one, of course, is aromatically. And a diffuser is great because it takes the molecules of the oils and it disperses it all throughout the house.
Okay.
So if you want to change the atmosphere that a lot of people are sick in, or a lot of people have emotional mood disorders, you can brighten the mood and you can clean the air. So that's the easiest way to do it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's topical, right?
Absolutely. And, every bottle has directions on it. So some of them are sun sensitive, that you don't want to put it on and go out in the sun because it will interact with the sun. But putting it on topically is fantastic. And I know a lot of companies, they always say dilute, dilute, dilute. And that's true, because you just don't know what's in their bottles. But when you have a pure therapeutic grade, and as long as it doesn't have what's considered a hot oil, cinnamon and peppermint, those are a little warm on
They're
the
a little
body.
warm. I put those on the bottom of my feet one day and I was like nice and toasty. I fell right to sleep.
Right.
Like,
think of it like a muscle rub, right?
Yeah.
The muscle rub feels good.
Yeah.
So, those, of course, I would dilute. But with all the Young Living oils, topically, 99% of them, I would say, on an adult, I put them on without diluting.
Nice.
Now, little people, you would, but then,
because you don't know.
So, aromatic, even in your hands. We call this tent cupping. And just breathing it.
Yeah.
To get what you need. And once your brain gets it, the limbic system, we can talk about that one day too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do multiple interviews. So the other one was orally, right?
Yes. And so when we have them labeled with a white label, they have directions for making veggie capsules out of them. So we can make our own veggie capsule allergy pill, is what I would call it.
I think once I saw you put a little under your tongue, you were having digestive stuff going on. So you put a little under your tongue once I saw you.
You can do that.
You
got to
can,
get your big girl.
Not necessarily recommended. If you're
you
brave.
got to get used to that. That's right. So when there's feelings of nervousness, then once again, when in doubt, pull Frank out. And so that's the one that goes under the tongue for me.
So Young Living has a lot of other things too, which we don't have time to do everything today besides the oils. But if someone wanted to get involved, can you help anybody that calls and reaches out to you, or does it have to be in a certain area, or how does that work?
Anyone can reach out. And they have over 700 products. So you're right. Wow. They don't just have oils, but they take their oils and they infuse it into the other products.
Okay. Very cool. And you have a website, right? You have a website?
I do. And so can we put it in the notes?
I will put it in the description, all that stuff in the description. Absolutely. Definitely.
Yes, because it's kind of long.
Yeah. Okay. That's no
problem. I do.
Okay. So they could go to your website and contact you through the website, or do they need to call you? I mean, how do they reach out to you?
Yes, the Life Steps app is what I would, or the Life Steps link is what I would put in the notes, and that would give them my phone number. And also the website to go directly to it. And
then you would set them up. They would contact you. You would set them up, talk about what's going on in their life, make some suggestions of things that they might could try.
Absolutely. And here in the very near future, we are doing Zyto scans with people with their eyes.
Oh, and I still haven't been able to do that with you, and I want to do that. But since we've got a couple more minutes, did you want to touch real quick on the raindrop? Just
the raindrop.
Just introduce it slightly. I mean, I know we're going to do a whole one on that one for certain, because that's so interesting. But there's a raindrop method that the founder, Dr. Young, created, that you have personally been experimenting and learning and getting certified for. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And looks like I'm having computer problems today. But you have seen great results. So just give us an example and a little teaser for our next video.
Sure. The raindrop is a series of oils that are very medicinal in antibacterial, antiviral, antiseptic, I mean, you are going to detox when you use the raindrop oils on your body. And a lot of people feel more energy afterwards. A lot of people feel some sensations in their body where they hadn't had circulation before.
Right. You had a good result with that, didn't you?
I did, because sometimes you can do releasing of emotions as well as physical things, because the oils get down into the cells of the body. So basically, the raindrop helps to nourish the cells at the cellular level. That's the very most important level in your body.
Did you say that studies had proven that it had rewritten people's DNA or corrected people's DNA or something to that effect?
Ah, yes. Okay. So the constituents in the true therapeutic oils, they do lots of different things, but the three main goals is they get into your body, and this is your cell, and the receptor sites allow things to come in and out. So they scrape all the yuck that's been covering our cells, and then they go in and sweep away all of the bad. And then the third step is to reprogram the DNA of the cell.
That's crazy
So
cool. That is just
who doesn't want to be
amazing.
healthier?
Well, yeah, if you can fix what's wrong with something natural that doesn't have these crazy side effects. And, studies have shown that they work. And the Dr. Young has done all his research before creating all these products. I was going to ask you a couple other things. What was it? Oh, the hormones. So there's something too. So for all of you people out there that are struggling with perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, or just you've had a hysterectomy or something like that, there are oils that some may be in the kit, some may not, the starter kit. But if they called you and talked to you about that, you could add those. What are some ideas for people who are struggling with low testosterone, low estrogen, because that affects everything. That affects that affects your mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean, everything. So what about hormones?
Sure. I had mine tested and I'm low on all three. So now I know, because I hit that magic age of middle 50s now.
Yeah.
Now I know what I need to do. So the oil of Idaho blue spruce is what I use for testosterone.
And have you seen your numbers go up? Have you seen your numbers go up?
Well, I'm going to do a test once a year. So I'm going to use the oils and also the supplements that have the oils infused in them.
Okay.
And cortisol is another huge one that we have cortisol levels because of, stress, but your body needs it for, fight or flight, but you don't need your adrenaline to constantly be going.
Right. Because normally fight or flight, it's only for a short period of time to make sure that you have a burst of energy to get you to and fro and to safety. But when you have stress and trauma all the time, it's always going. And you can see that in people who have excess weight around their middle, because that's where the cortisol seems to deposit.
And I just learned out why.
Okay.
Because right around the backside of your tummy, your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys.
Oh, right. So it just deposits right in that area.
They deposit it right up in the front. That's right. So if your body is constantly going, adrenal fatigue happens, cortisol levels get stored. And one of the easiest ways to help with that is get out in the sun first thing in the morning. Close your eyes. If it's too bright, you want the vitamin D, and you want it to also start setting your melatonin levels from your circadian clock rhythm, so your body will fall asleep the right time in the evening.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you got to get up and get in the morning and get grounded and touch the sky, and they look at me like, what the heck? I've got kids and coffee and I'm good, but they don't really realize how badly it's affecting their health. And it's hard to get back in that habit. I did it years ago. And then of course I had kids and, work for other people and all that jazz. And you're running, but it's a change of mindset. It's a change in your schedule, a change in your priorities, and it can be done. I'm trying to get myself back to doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. But over the summer, I've been doing that. I've been getting up, put my robe on, and the cat always wants out anyway. So I walk outside with him and I walk around the yard barefooted. And look at the sky and meditate and relax and just try to get my day going, get my feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other hormone oils is a Progessence Plus, and that will save your life.
Mm-hmm.
There are 50 reasons why you need natural progesterone. And so
Yeah.
that's another thing I can put in the link is people can go right to Dr.
Yeah.
Dan Purser's website and he can show you the studies he did on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Progesterone is
But
that.
yeah, vitamin.
Sorry. Progesterone is that hormone that helps you sleep, helps you feel relaxed, helps with muscle spasms. Because I noticed, when I was going through menopause, that I felt like this all the time, and I was having leg cramps and I couldn't sleep. But it also is the precursor to other hormone production. So you have to have it, but it's one of the ones that drops significantly as you age. And without it, without the three major hormones, you're going to wind up in a nursing home because you can't take care of yourself. I mean, it's so vital. And I told you recently, Suzanne Summers, who was a major advocate for hormone replacement, bioidentical hormone placement, passed away. But she was a champion at trying to keep people young and healthy. So we got like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, the time goes so fast. And I hope this recording works. So what else do you want to tell us before it cuts us off?
Well, there's hope out there for people that are struggling, that are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's hope for your 13-year-old daughter to become sweet again. And I know that everyone says, well, that's just a teenager. Well, if you could drop a couple oils on them to help them with their emotions and their mood swings, would that not be worth it to try?
Well, a lot of them are missing progesterone because if you notice, vitamin D and progesterone are precursors to balancing your hormones. And if they're not getting enough sunshine because they're looking at their phone and sitting in their room, mean old parents make their kids get out and do yard work. Well, guess what? Exercise and sunshine helps teenagers feel better. Makes us all feel better. But we all feel better. But and DHEA, which is huge, and I think Young Living may. Do they have a DHEA product as well?
They, here's a neat thing about it. You can go to youngliving.com and go to the search bar and type in anything like that you want, and it'll pull up products that have that in that.
Yeah, and DHA is also, and so the body has like 300 and around 300 hormones, and DHEA, as we get older, our body makes less of it, and as we make less of it, we make less of the other hormones too. So it's all kind of like connected. And if you don't have all the players, you don't have a good ball game. That's all I got to say. You're not going to be winning. You're not going to be winning in life without all the components. And Young Living has a lot of things that help you feel better. I've noticed that on their website. It's amazing.
They do.
And people can become a rep pretty easily if they wanted to, and then they get discounts and they can share with their friends and things, kind of like you've done.
Oh, it's very simple. You don't ever have to sell it. You can buy it as a customer. And then if someone says, well, what are you doing? Because you smell nice.
Yeah.
Well, here's my link.
Yeah.
And then you get a kickback. The company says, thank you.
Yeah, I may have to look into that. Yeah, I may have to look into that because I'm really liking the products and it does help pay for itself. So I'll think about it. We'll see. But this has been amazing and you're amazing and I just love you. I don't know what else to say. You're awesome and I appreciate you. And I hope this video turned out. And I'll put the description for everything down below and you can get all that information to me to make sure it's correct. And God bless. That's all I can say. It's praise the Lord for all the goodness out there in nature and for you helping people feel better.
Well, thank you. Go out and get some sun today.
I am. I'm going to get out there in a minute.
See ya.
All right. Thanks, girl. I appreciate you so much for taking out your time and your busy day. And you're a blessing to everybody. Thank you.
Well, thank you.